When I think about the California era, this is the bass. What's happening, folks? Welcome back to the 182 News YouTube page. Today, I want to talk about one of my favorite Mark Hoppus bass guitars. This is the Craola bass, and it's very important for multiple reasons. California and California Deluxe were tracked with this. If you saw Blink during that time period out on tour, Mark was playing this. He had said this was his favorite bass that he had out. But before we get there, I just want to talk about some of the history here and document how he got this bass and really some of the rad stuff behind it. So to go back a little bit, it is named Craola after the artist who goes by Craola. Real name is Greg Simkins, an amazing artist. Check out his work if you haven't. It's honestly mind-boggling. I can't even begin to wrap my head around how he creates this stuff. It's that good. And the story goes, Greg had painted a bass guitar that Mark was going to use at Music in 2015. Mark was going to play it live, and ultimately it was going to be auctioned off to raise funds for those with cystic fibrosis, to raise funds and awareness. And that happened. You can see pictures of it. There's videos of it. I think a lot of folks tend to forget about this bass, but it's really rad, and Mark played it live, and there's pictures of it and everything. Shortly after that, the legend has it, Mark had just raved about how rad it was, and at the time, Dylan from HMNIM is Mark had started mentioning to Greg that, hey, maybe we should work on making a bass for Mark and surprise him with it. Mark's birthday was right around the time period. It wasn't going to be able to happen in that time slot, but ultimately Greg had started working on one summer of 2015 when he had a chance to. And the artwork on this is just incredible. It obviously implements the octopus. It's got bees, which I don't know if folks remember from back in the day, but Mark used to post pictures of like being a beekeeper all the time, I feel like. So it obviously had intertwined some of his interest at the time period. And ultimately, it was gifted to Mark in the middle of a podcast interview as a surprise. So on the old Hi, My Name is Mark podcast, Mark was interviewing Greg. And during that, former bass tech Robert Ortiz, RIP, gone way too soon, comes in and is holding a bass guitar, and you can kind of hear the surprise in Mark's voice of, oh my God, what's going on here? And ultimately what had happened is his wife Sky, along with Greg the artist, Robert the bass tech, Dylan playing coordinator in some capacity it seems, put together this awesome surprise for Mark. And you can tell he is genuinely shocked by it during the conversation. And it's just an amazing bass guitar when you look at it. Now, I think it's super important for a couple reasons. A, this is right around that time period where Mark is switching to a Jaguar body. Something we're still seeing to this day. Prior to this, we really didn't see that much. He was playing his signatures, he was playing P basses. So this is kind of the dawn of the Jaguar era for Mark. And it's also the dawn of basically these beautiful pieces of art that he's playing. So to this day, one of my favorite things is seeing artists make bass guitars for Mark and seeing them played live. It's rad for Mark. It's rad for the artist. I've had a ton of these folks on the podcast to discuss their creation process and how that went. So check those out if you're curious. I just love the backstory and the lore and the opportunities for these artists. It's really, really rad. So this all came together as a surprise for Mark. And one of the things I love is during that conversation, Mark is shocked, A, and B, he says he's not going to play it. You know, it's such a beautiful piece of art that it's going to hang on a wall.
That's insane. Thank you guys so much. This is one of the best things that's ever happened to me.
Oh, stop.
It's rad. I'm so stoked on it.
Yeah, the sad thing is, I'm never going to play it. I'm just going to hang it on a place of prominence.
This was October 2015. January, they're going into the studio with John Feldman to begin on what became California, and this is tracked with this bass guitar. So during that time period, I'm assuming he played it, loved how it sounded, loved how it felt, to the point of where he wanted to track with it and play it live for multiple summers. So this is a custom Jaguar bass. It does have the inverted pickups, which Mark is known for. They are Seymour Duncan quarter-pound pickups. It does have the bridge pickup. It was already routed. However, it is a dummy pickup. It is not active. It's got the one volume knob that Mark has had in the past. So it was really just a beautiful surprise. It was more or less the birth of this Jaguar Mark Hoppus style bass that we're seeing to this day with some of his signature guitars that are getting ready to drop. It's really amazing. Now, one of the other things that I wanted to mention here is that it was so rad that Hi, My Name is Mark made a pin out of it. And these are very, very collectible. This was the second pin that dropped and is still hard to find to this day. A lot of Blink collectors just love these things. They're really tough to get, sold out very quickly. And those early ones, specifically Pinky and this Craola, are very tough to find and can be, a lot more than retail when it comes to the pricing. So I wanted to document this one. I certainly felt it was worthy of being showcased. California Deluxe, California tracked with this. Mark played this on Good Morning America. I remember seeing Mark play it summer 2016, 2017. I remember seeing Mark play this in Vegas, and it's really just a mind-boggling guitar when you look at it. I hope Greg does another one for him someday because it's just that sick. So let me know your thoughts. I love this one. If there are other guitars you want to hit on, please let me know. Drop it in the comments. And if you dig Blink and Blink history, be sure to subscribe to the channel and check out the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. Talk soon.